So you
Salamat.
are saying, this is David,
Hi.
our captain of the boat. he is our Peter in the
Peter.
boat. The driver of the boat.
You asked me about the fish,
Yeah,
Yeah.
how many fish?
So there's 23 types of fish in the Sea of Galilee. The most famous of them all is the Tilapia Galilea, which we call Amnun Hagalil. Amnun.
Amnun.
Amnun. Why Amnun? In Hebrew, Am or Em is mother,
Yeah.
and Nun in Aramaic. You know Aramaic is the old ancient Hebrew. It means fish. So mother of fish. Mother fish. And the reason is because it acts like a real mother. It picks up the eggs in its mouth and takes it to the shore and let them out and keeps until they hatch. And she stays around until they grow a little and then she goes. Like a real mother. So this is the famous tilapia. We also have visitors. One is from Japan, which is called the silverfish, the silver carp. It's a big carp. It's about this big.
Wow.
Wow.
It's very big. We also have the mullet, buri in Hebrew. You know buri? Have you seen buri?
yes,
So it's called taim, it's called mullet. And they grow here, but they put them in. They don't grow naturally. We have Damascus חפף ישראלי. It's called, in Hebrew it's called binit.
Dinis?
Binit, yeah.
Binit?
Binit. I forgot the name in English.
Okay.
Ringing, but it's not there. Anyway, there's different types of binit. We also have carps here. We have a catfish, lots of catfish. Lots, because this place is like a haven for catfish. Because Jews don't eat catfish because it has no scales.
Yeah.
I know in Philippines you eat many, yeah?
Yeah.
Can we take catfish here and eat?
Yeah, well, not in a restaurant, but you can catch them by yourself
Yeah.
and cook them at home. A lot of people from the Philippines, from Thailand, they come here and they cast and they catch them and they make, even some Russians, they make dry fish from them, you know. Sorry?
Dry fish to you?
Like maybe less grilled. Catfish is not so good for grill.
Yeah.
I don't eat catfish, but I know it's better for fry. Normally for fry. But if you fry my finger, it will be tasty.
Okay, let's try it.
So anything you fry is tasty.
Yeah, you told us a little while ago about the places we did not record.
We have, so the Sea of Galilee is 2/3 of Jesus' ministry is here in the Sea of Galilee. So 2/3 of the gospel is over here, and there are many famous places here, biblical and present. So present, I would go with the Golden Heights. Of course, there's ancient history in the Golden Heights, like hippos, like Kursi. Hippos means susita, Kursi. Oh, a fish just jumped. Oh, see that? That's a mullet. You see it jump? That's a
No.
mullet jumping. We have Tapcha over there. We have Mount Beatitudes, Capernaum.
Capernaum is there?
Yep, Capernaum is there. It's a pink building with a white and pink dome.
Yeah.
We have Tzfat, we have Meron, we have Gennesaret over here, we have Arbel, and Tiberias, of course, Gilad Mountain, and again, back to Susita and Kursi. So the Sea of Galilee is a main source of water today for Israel, but it's used less and less every year. About 20 years ago, we used 70% of the water that Israel would take would come from the Sea of Galilee. Today it's 7%.
Why?
Because we have the desalinization plants on the shore of the Mediterranean that change the salt water, the Mediterranean water, into fresh water. So we use less and less. And what is your name? Mary asked me about the water level here. She said that the water level is much better, and now that we're before winter, it looks very good. She's correct, because we use less and less water from the Sea of Galilee to keep its level and to get more and more water supply for cities and towns around Israel. Also, today, Israel is a water nation. Today, we can supply water to the whole Middle East. We have so much water. Even the sewage water, when you use the water, wash your hands, or bathroom or toilet, when you use the water, Israel takes the water and we clean 90% of the water. We reuse 90% of the water.
Water conservation.
The clearing, not desalination, but there's a word. Purified, yeah, water purified. So we purify the water, but we don't use it for drinking because psychologically it's not fun to one, So they send it to agriculture. All the water they use today for many, I'd say 50% of the water they use for agriculture comes from reused water. So, of course, with this water, with the 7% here, what they do is they mix the water that they desalinate because there's not enough minerals in the water. So they mix the water, and thanks to that, the water is mineralized. What else? Dead Sea. We have the Dead Sea. I heard you say.
The connection of Jordan to.
So we have the Jordan River from the north. It comes down from Dan and Dan, Banyas, and Chatzbani. Three rivers or three creeks that turn into one river, which is the Jordan River. And the reason it's named Jordan, in Hebrew, Yored means coming down, and Dan is the tribe of Dan, or Tel Dan.
Jordan.
So Yarden, Yored, Midan, coming down from Dan. And
I
sorry?
thought it's from the place Jordan.
From the country Jordan. Country Jordan was born with Israel. 1 year, I think, before they established Israel, 1940, I think 1947. But Jordan used to be Israel, used to be Jordan too. The British split Israel into two, Transjordan and Palestine, they called it back then. But as in a whole, Israel was Jordan and Palestine together. So when they split it, they split Transjordan and they established a kingdom there, and Israel as it is today. So the Jordan River comes to the Sea of Galilee, and then the Sea of Galilee is like a natural dam. It's like a natural dam. It's part of the Jordan River. If you think of it, the Jordan River starts in the north and goes down all the way to the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
Allegedly, because it's not so much today because there is a dam and they stopped it. But the Sea of Galilee is a natural dam of this of the Dead Sea. So the Jordan River comes down to the Sea of Galilee feeds the Dead Sea. But today, the Dead Sea is losing every year almost 1 meter of water from the evaporation, from the usage of the factories over there, of the salt factories, of the mining mineral factories. So we're losing every day 1 meter of the Dead Sea. But today, because they fixed the water problem, I think in the future, less and less water is going to be used by us from the Sea of Galilee, and more water is going to go to the Dead Sea. So less and less, we will lose less water, and then slowly we start to gain back the water we lost.
Why
Dead
are
Sea
you,
in 30 years lost 30 meters.
why are you stopping the water to the Dead Sea?
Because if we don't stop the water, the lake will be empty. The dam is to keep the water level.
But the Dead Sea is closed, so the water will not come out.
But you need water. I mean, these past, let's say, 40 years, the problem of Israel was, if you go back, let's say even 30 years, not 40 years, we had a certain amount of population. We had maybe 3 million people in Israel. And then we had Aliyah. You know what Aliyah is? Gesundheit. God bless you. We had Aliyah, which means Aliyah means when Jews come to Israel. So we had the Russians, we had the Ethiopian Jewish, we had many Jews come from all the world. So Israel, from 3 million, not just the population that grew over here, also the population that came in, today we're 10 million. From 3 million or 2 million. So think about how much water you need now to feed people. How many roads do you need to drive on? So nothing was enough. Nothing was enough. So they had to redo everything all over. And now today it's much better. Still, we're missing roads, but the difference between 10 years back with roads is earth and sky. Because 10 years ago, there was no roads, only traffic. Now there's some traffic, but many roads.
Some of us were here 10 years ago.
You were here 10 years ago? Who?
Yeah.
Who was here?
Me.
You remember the traffic back then,
Yeah.
10 years ago. And now you see the new roads, the 6th road, the 70
Yeah.
road, 77, everything is bigger, everything is, much better. Still, it's not enough. But
It's better.
But it's much better than it used to be. You have more options to run away from the traffic. Do you drive here? You're lucky.
Demi, we are
Sister
Demi.
If you have questions, you can ask.
he is telling, sabi mo, he is concluding that the fish that Jesus and his disciples are eating is tilapia.
Tilapia, yeah, it is.
It's
We
the
also
oldest.
have sardines here.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like sardines. It's not sardines. It's similar to sardines.
Sardines, Ligo.
Yeah, we eat sardines. No
No,
problem.
Lisa,
Legal?
Porel.
Legal?
Porel is like sardines. Ayaw pala. O, sabi ko,
Brand in the Philippines. Brand name. It's a sardine.
Yeah, we can eat sardines here. No problem. They're legal.
A popular brand.
malapit na sa Galunggong, bro. Malapit na sa Galunggong.
Eh, di ba yung mga sardines, dito lang sila nangingitlog?
The sardines here are actually a little bit bigger than the normal size sardines. They're nice.
But you
They're
are
very
also
sweet.
eating it?
Hmm?
You are eating it?
Yeah, sometimes, but you can buy in the supermarket sardines from the Kinneret.
Ah.
It's fresh. It says Kinneret sardines. Look for them. It's very special. It's not too salty like the ones from the ocean.
Your place, the Kibbutz Ginusar, is the place of Gennesaret?
It's part of yes, of course, part of Gennesaret. If you are asking about Jesus, back then there was a story when he comes to Gennesaret, right?
Yeah.
With the disciples, they come with the boat and they go get off Gennesaret, and people come to him and greet him. So Gennesaret back then, if you go by Josephus Flavius, you remember Josephus Flavius? He was the historian of that time. He mentions that the best fruit come from Gennesaret. Till today, the best fruit come from Gennesaret. Their land is very flourishing. It's very good for growing. Anybody? You're all caretakers.
Yeah.
Nobody works. Okay.
You cannot work in the agriculture.
You're not allowed to.
No. Only
The
the
intersection.
people
Only
from private.
On the caregiver.
Only caregivers. Okay, that's good too.
Ano?
Intersection.
Huh? Is it legal?
It's always ligo-ligo.
She
And
asks.
punas-punas.
Ligo, swimming.
Ligo, in Tagalog word, and swim.
Where?
Ligo.
Ligo. Yung swim is langoy, di ba?
Is it yes?
Ligo means swim.
Here,
Take a
legal.
bath.
Ligo, take a bath.
Take a bath.
Go. I get you.
Pagbat, di ba?
Salamat
naman. Now you know, Ligo.
Ligo.
Two meaning.
And also sardines, Ligo.
In Philippines, yeah. This is you ask if
Because the sardines is,
taking a bath
ligoing
in the
inside.
water. Like lago.
That's why it's called
No,
ligo.
it's Ligo.
Yeah,
because-
but it's like lago.
Diba,
from,
inside the can.
Spanish. From,
There are many-
not Spanish.
Yeah.
From
There's a sardine who is
Spanish
making ligo.
also, but in Latin.
Now you know.
It's called Ligo.
Latin.
Huh?
So I
Why
think
is
the
it
Philippine
called
language
Ligo?
comes from
Yeah.
Latin. No?
Yan, baka Spanish.
Yeah, I make ligo inside the can.
So lago means lake. Legal means lake
You
in.
know, Spanish bread also from Spanish.
Okay na. Yata, okay na.
Ang gulat namin! Wala kang
No, no, don't
papiso.
come here. Don't come here. Go there, go
Oo,
there.
kasi may angko, may
I
ano
want to
dyan,
pee,
may
that's why
timon.
I go to.
You have to tell me because I could go over you.